At the moment when the impact sound reverberated in the tunnel, Charlie's figure could not help but stagnate for a moment. With such a huge movement, you don't need to look at how strong the impact is. Even a Rolls-Royce, with its sturdy build, can't hold up such a large force, and the people inside are probably too ugly. At this moment, Charlie felt very sorry. Although he has no friendship with Ziyu, in the final analysis, he has no grudges against her at the same time. A young girl in her early 20s was brutally murdered by her family in such a cruel way. It is inevitable to feel regretful. In addition, Charlie showed more sympathy to Leona. Speaking of it, he had no contact with Leona, and unlike Ziyu, at least he had saved her and her brother's lives in Japan. However, because Leona has been obsessed with his father for so many years, even this time she caused a murderous disaster for herself because she was unforgettable for his father. Therefore, the image of Leona is a bit more tragic in Charlie's mind. The man she loved did not choose her, and the man she chose had betrayed her for so many years. And she didn't forget that sweetheart who had been dead for many years, and even spent a lot of money to buy back the old house where she once lived. However, it was precisely because of her behavior that all of this was incurred to her. Therefore, how can Suchi not be sympathetic to such a woman? Charlie couldn't help but feel annoyed in his heart. I knew so long ago, when I was in the Treasures Pavilion, I should have dealt with Shred. In that case, Leona and Ziyu would not suffer this disaster. But, having said that, since the Su family wants their lives, what if I had killed Shred and saved them in the Treasure Pavilion? The Su family hides behind them, and they will still find other ways to kill them and kill Shred in the end. Thinking of this, Charlie couldn't help sighing. It seems that the mother and daughter should not have met such a disaster. However, in an instant, Charlie suddenly thought that he still had a few rejuvenation pills on his body. At the beginning, Orville was almost strangled to death and he used a rejuvenating pill to rescue him. If Leona and Ziyu are still alive, they will be saved by him as well. Thinking of this, Charlie speeded up at his feet and rushed toward the inside of the tunnel. At this time, Isaac's Rolls-Royce was sandwiched by 4 large trucks in front and 2 behind. Because the inertia of the 2 large trucks behind was too great, the entire Rolls-Royce engine compartment had completely collided with the cockpit. The trunk was also knocked into the position of the rear seat. The original 5-meter-long car body has now been hit by the front and back and only half of its length is left. The visual effects of the scene can be said to be extremely tragic. In the cockpit, Shred's entire abdomen was squeezed into a pool of rotten meat by the invading engine compartment, and his head was protected by an airbag, so he didn't suffer any serious injuries. This caused him to suffer fatal injuries, but at this time he did not immediately suffocate. He just opened his mouth weakly, and constantly vomited a lot of blood, looking terrible. The mother and daughter in the rear seat have soft seat double wraps in the front and rear. The situation is better or less, but the internal injuries are also very serious. In a car accident, the most feared is internal injury. If any internal organs suffer a heavy blow and rupture, it will cause severe internal bleeding. If it's fast, people can die within a few minutes. There is almost no possibility of rescue. At this time, Leona had passed out directly, but Ziyu was still sober. She felt her chest squeezed tightly by the front and rear seats, and it was almost impossible to see through. At the same time, there was pain everywhere in the body, and the whole person was extremely weak and incomparably painful. At this time, behind her, there was a sound of opening the door. The 2 large trucks that were hit by the main force behind had also been completely hit beyond recognition. However, due to the high-level cockpit, the driver was not injured. At this time, the 2 drivers pushed the door, jumped out of the cockpit, and went directly to Rolls-Royce to investigate the situation. In the two trucks used to block the road in front, two drivers also jumped down. The four came to the side of car and took a look. One of them exclaimed, "Captain, the eldest lady is also in the car." "What? How could the eldest lady be in the car?" The man who was called the captain was Stuart, the capable man who was most trusted by the Sioux family. Stuart's father was the personal guard of Old Sus. Later, his father got older and was not fit to continue the role of personal guard, so he inherited his father's mantle and became the personal guard of Old Man Sioux. At the same time, he is also the black glove of Old Man Sioux. Many dirty and bloody things were done by him personally on behalf of his master. This time, he was instructed by Mr. Sioux to follow the tragic death of the European princess and solve Leona. So he found Shred, who was running around through the channels of the underground world, gave him such a chance, and then tailored a whole plan for him. However, he only had told Shred to take Leona into the car as a hostage and bring her into this tunnel, but never dreamed that this Shred actually will bring the eldest lady Ziyu into the car. In shock, he rushed over to check, and he saw Ziyu also sitting in the back seat. At this time, Ziyu's face was pale, with almost no blood, which made Stuart panic. At this time, Ziyu also recognized Stuart and knew that this was the personal guard next to her grandfather, so she stared at him with an extremely resentful look. Stuart could be considered to have rushed over in a strong wind and waves, but at the moment when his eyes met Ziyu, he suddenly panicked. He subconsciously dodged Ziyu's eyes, then rushed to the side of the cab, and yelled hysterically at Shred, who was vomiting blood, "Shred name. Are you fucking crazy? Who made it? You brought the eldest lady in the car too? What the hell did I tell you back then? What did I tell you? I told you to take Leona alone. It's one person, not two people. Don't you have any brains?" After speaking, Stuart suddenly realized that something was wrong, so he asked with an angry expression, "Shred, you fucking tell me the truth, who instructed you to bring the lady into the car too?" Shred was already at the end of his life. His eyes widened vigorously, his mouth was open with a spiteful face, as if he was saying something. Stuart immediately leaned his head over and shouted sharply, "What the hell are you trying to say? Say it loud," Shred weakly said in a mosquito-like voice. You what?" Stuart lost his patience and scolded, "You fucking say it, what the hell are you saying?" Shred was about to continue speaking, but he didn't fall up in one breath, he coughed violently, and sprayed blood all over Stuart's face. Stuart didn't care to wipe it, grabbed Shred's collar, and gritted his teeth and cursed, "You fucking say it, come on, what the hell you did? Who guided you?" Shred tried his best, and said 4 words, "I am going to Japan."